morning. As you can see, we're on a canal again. This one is near Chester. You can just see down there in the distance there's another lock gate, another set of locks. So you can see the kind of drop in the river there, quite considerable. I'll try and get a better look at this lock in a minute. Just to let you know where I am, I'm just outside Chester, so we're going into Chester today. We've had quite a good run out here. Set off at about 6 o'clock. Cracked on with about nearly 20 some odd miles this morning, and it's about 11:15. So it's all been flat going now. Couldn't do it. There wasn't a rise involved in it, but it's just been steady away. Very, very quiet on the roads first thing this morning. That'll change later on. I think you'll never hear it all in the background. I don't know, I must arrive at work stressed out to the eyeballs. Anyway, I'll carry on down. Any interesting bits I'll let you know about. Right, we're a little bit closer up to these gates now. So you can see the level of the water in the bottom of there is down. The boat would come into there, climb up the ladder, then you can see that's the top gate there. Then once his boat was in, close this set of gates here, which are called mitre gates. And although I can't climb up on top of there, they are like a 45-degree on each, if you want to call it that, you can think about it that way. And when they're together, they form a 90-degree angle. Does that make sense? I think it would do, right? So then the pressure of the water that drops into the bottom of there from the top gate, as they use the windlass to open the sluice gate at the bottom, it fills up with water. The more pressure that comes on this bit, being a mitre gate, it gets tighter and tighter. So it then stops the flow of water while it fills up. Once the water's filled, the lock, then he can go to the top gates and use his windlass again to open the gates downwards to the same level as the upper, I'm sorry there's people going past at the same time, upper gates, and his boat can flow up the canal from one level to another. I'm sure you already knew all of that, but just to explain to other people that may not know that. That's the handle system that you can see there that goes on and then down. You can see that down. I'm not going to get that close to the edge of there, otherwise we might end up with shopping trolleys. But that system, you can see that little winch system and ratchet. As that ratchet goes up, as the windlass turns at this end, turns that, turns the ratchet, lifts the sluice gates at the bottom. Then these big beams can then, you put your back against there, use the ridges on the floor to push these gates open and close. Okay, I think that's enough about locks today. Moving on to Chester later, we'll have a talk about really why Chester's there. It was mainly due to the Romans. We'll try and get a bit on that. So here is one of those toll houses the van was talking about. So your toll keeper would have been in here every time that the locks were needed to be opened. He'd come out, work the gates, he'd use the this section of the canal, you'd pay him a toll. So there we go, that's what we were talking about, just upstream, just up the canal. I presume that was up. Yeah, the tollman's house. Oh, the tollman's. Yeah, right. So this man here just uses windlass on that the system we just talked earlier. And down in South Sea, the sluice gate is now opened. So it's in the process now of flooding. How long does it take to flood it? Yeah.
Well, when you're coming up, you have to go slower.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turbulence in the chamber, bouncing the boat around. So I'm not putting too much in. It'll probably take about 4 or 5 minutes.
Right.
Whereas it'll take about a minute to empty.
Yep,
So
yep.
when you empty it, you just let it go.
Yep, yep. Right. See the boat just right in there. Yeah, you can see the flood in there. Now I'm going to ask you a daft question. What do they call this canal?
Shropshire.
The what?
Shropshire.
Shropshire Union.
Canal.
Right. I did ask a bloke up there. I said, "Are you local?" I said, "Do you know the name of this canal?" And he says, "It's the canal. I call it the canal." He hadn't got a clue what the name was.
It starts off near Wolverhampton.
Right.
It goes as far as Ellesmere Port.
Very good.
So it used to be used for, you know, because Chester used to be a port before it was tilted up.
Yep.
So, and they used to, from the seagoing vessels at Ellesmere Port, they would then load them onto smaller vessels to bring them up these canals, which is why they're very broad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. Yeah. Yep. You can now see the boat is now rising in the lock.
There are more boats on the canal system now than there were in the height of the industrial use.
All right. I thought it would be quite heavily used in the industrial.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was more heavily used, but there are now more leisure boats on
Right.
than there ever were industrial boats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but of course they spend a lot of time sitting in marinas, whereas the working boats were always out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose that would have been the lock keepers.
Yeah,
Because there are the tolls to pay on these at one time,
yeah,
didn't
there
there?
were tolls, yeah. There are little toll houses, those little round ones that you see.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them still got the chimney on.
Yeah.
Fire in the middle, I guess, or somewhere.
Well, I'm going to guess they're thrusters. Are they thrusters I can hear?
Yeah, the thrusters at the bow.
Right.
The tube goes right through.
Yeah.
The electric propeller that goes one way or the other.
Yep. So there you go. I didn't know that. Obviously that's at the bottom.
Especially when it's windy, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I know. And when it gets a bit tight trying to turn corners. Now this, you can now see the gates are now coming open.
I'll do this gate for you.
There you go, to a coat of paint. Now then, the lovely condition it's in. Well, thank you very much for that.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.